So you decide you want to go to grad school and you come across this program that doesn't require a GRE or GMAT in order for acceptance. Is it a good idea to just go for that and don't consider anything else? Hi, I'm Ashley. I make videos on God goals in grad school. This is a part of the GRE how-to series where we make studying for the GRE a lot more tolerable. And by no means is this a pro-GRE stance. Standardized tests and I are not BFFs. I am not paid by test makers. I actually just want to help you think through whether or not it's a good idea for you and your goals to consider going to a grad school that doesn't require a GRE. Now, for the context of this video, I'm going to be talking about an MBA, but that does not mean that the thought process doesn't apply to you if you're interested in other programs. So I want you to listen carefully to see what translates. So when in the MBA context, business school, a lot of times people have, moments in their careers where they are just like, all right, it's time. I need something else. I need skills, or I need to just figure out how to jumpstart this career. And you know what? There's a lot of Google ads that have all the solutions for you. Online MBA programs, in person, distance. I mean, it's COVID right now. Like everything is definitely online, but you catch my drift. There are a lot of people vying for your money when it comes to your education. And I think it's just really important for you to start thinking about what really matters and whether you really need the GRE to get what truly matters. So if you were in my shoes a couple years ago and you're trying to figure out what business school, like I said, this is not only for business school people, but when it comes to people considering graduate school, I'm just going to use business school for this to make sure that it's more tangible. When you're evaluating business schools or trying to figure out which one, and you get this notification that this school that you've heard of doesn't require a standardized tests, like that sounds good, right? Well, what I will say is that it could be, or it couldn't be. And the whole reason, I think, is because it's all about what your goals are. Here's how I look at it. There are pretty much 3 key reasons why you want to get an MBA. And first is or at least one of them, I'm not going to say that these are ranked in order. One is to gain leadership and business skills. You want to be able to learn new things so that you can apply it in different contexts. The second major thing is that you want to position yourself for a better job. That's ultimately you want to be able to get a job, ideally a job that you couldn't get if you didn't go to business school. The third thing that a third main motivator for going to business school is to build a valuable network. I cannot tell you how amazing it is for me to be able to call on one of the hundreds of thousands of Michigan Wolverines for anything I need. And people call on me too when it comes to gain advice for companies that I've worked for, or having the ability to make connections in order to get leads for new endeavors that I'm starting. It's just an amazing, amazing benefit. So when you have those 3 things in mind, learning new things, positioning yourself for a job that you couldn't get if you didn't go to school, and building a valuable network, then you want to kind of evaluate the schools who are saying, hey, you don't need to take a test. First of all, I know I said that learning new things is as the first one, but the whole reason why I wanted to make sure that it was I made the distinction that this wasn't the most important thing is because, you are on YouTube right now. I'm sure that you can actually learn anything that you would want to learn about life, leadership, and business right where you are. So learning new things is obviously important for the business school experience. I would not say that any one institution has a monopoly on the best information. So I think that, obviously you want to make sure it's table stakes. You want to make sure that you're going to an institution where you can learn, valuable things, especially if you're going to pay for this knowledge. But I'm going to operate with the assumption that you don't actually need to go to business school in order to learn new things. So let's move on to the second thing. To be able to position yourself for a job that you could not get if you didn't go to business school. Now, if you're going to assess this school that doesn't accept or that doesn't require a GRE or a GMAT, then I want you to be able to discern, can I get a job with this degree that I couldn't get anywhere else? Something that you can look into to be able to ascertain that answer is the job report. Most business schools do release data on the success of their graduates because a lot of the value, like I said, this is one of the key benefits of going to business school. So it's going to be really important to look at the data. Look at where the graduates tend to go to work. Look at the percentage of students who are doing a part-time program versus a full-time program. Look at the kinds of companies that the graduates are going to and the placement rates. When you're talking about the top 20, 30 business schools, you're seeing placement rates within the high 90%, which means that usually it means that within the first 3 months of graduations, these people have jobs. So that's just going to be a really good indicator for you to see, okay, cool. This school may give me the convenience of not having to put the work in to study for a GRE or a GMAT in order to get into this school, but does it give me the results that I am looking to get when it comes to placement into my dream career? If it does, hey, that's pretty good. I want you to actually look into the data to make sure of that. Now, the third thing is the valuable network. Now, I think that it's starting to become a trend that more and more schools are not accepting are not rather requiring standardized test results. However, a lot of top schools still are, at least for the graduate schools. So I want you to kind of think about whether or not you're going to be able to build a valuable, powerful network from the school that you're evaluating. One way for you to do that is use good old LinkedIn. At sidebar, it's actually really cool that we have access to so much information and so many tools that allow us to make more informed decisions. So, in this case, LinkedIn, you can often search by school, and that's going to be really helpful because then you can start using some of the filters and look for people who work at certain companies that you're interested in, things like that. I think it's really important for you in general to have a pretty full idea of what you're looking to get out of the school experience. And this goes across whatever graduate school you're interested in looking into, because so many of the decisions are based off of what you actually want. I didn't come here today to tell you that you must go to a top 3 business school or else nothing matters, because that's not true. And it's just not. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving you the tools to be able to discern whether or not choosing a route that may not require you to take a standardized test will get you to the goals that you want. I just think that's so important, right? Because some people, and I'm guessing if you are at this point in the video, this is not you, so props to you. But some people come to my channel who are looking for the answer. Tell me the answer. And the answer depends on what you want. It's just so important. It's so important to reflect and be intentional about what your goals are and what are the most important things to you so that you can use that as the measuring stick to measure whether or not these schools stack up. So those are the thoughts I have for you today. If you have any additional questions on this, let me know in the comments below. If you thought that this was a if you thought this was helpful, hey, drop a fire emoji in the comments so that I know that people are actually listening or really excited about at least this topic. And as always, I just really appreciate you watching me, supporting me. I'm so close to 2,000 subscribers, and it's so exciting because I literally started this journey thinking that I was going to have 4 people watch what I have to say. So as always, if this is something that you find helpful, please share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you next time.